Good morning everyone. Welcome to Python programming class. In this class, let us discuss about the modules like os.path, time, datetime. These are all standard Python utility modules. So when we think about OS, OS provides functions for interacting with operating systems. Both OS and os.path modules have many functions to interact with the file systems also. So if I want to practice OS, first of all I need to import OS to make use of any of the functions available in OS. So let me say this OS dot I'm writing the function cwd get cwd. This gives the current working directory. It fetches the current working directory and shows us. You can see this my current working directory is dpython practice. This is my current working directory. I got a function called os dot list dir. This will show different files and directories present in the current working directory. So you can see this, there are many files in this. I got a folder called EEA. I got a file character count.py. So I want to change my directory and go into EEA and open this. So to change the directory, we have the function called os.chddir. So here I have to give the path. So what I am doing is I am taking d, I am giving the path like d : /python / practice. So in this I got this EEA -a, enter. So I made this as my current working directory. Let me check it. os.get cwd. So now the path is changed. Previously it is Python practice, whereas now it is Python practice EEA. This is our current working directory. Okay. Now let me check if there are any files in this. os.list dir. When I press enter, you can see that it is an empty folder. I want to create a directory in this. So we got a function called os.mkdir, make directory. So I can simply give any name here. I want to create a directory with the name practice programs. Enter. Now let us look at the list. os.list dir. So I got this directory practice programs in this. Okay. So we have a function called os.rmdir. This is to remove the directory. I can simply give it the name practice programs, press enter. Let me check if there are any directories in my current directory. Enter. So now we can see that it is empty. So we have seen number of functions like one is os.get cwd. So this is to give the current working directory. The other one is chddir to change the current working directory. The other one is mkdir to make a directory, rmdir to remove directory. Okay. So we also use it. We can also use another one called rename. Let us try this also. What I am doing is os.makedir. Let me create practice folder there. Okay. If I just see os.list dir, I can see practice there. Then I am telling os.rename to give the old name, that is practice, and give the new name hard work. Okay, enter. Now let us look at the folders or directories available there. os.list dir. Enter. You can see that the name practice was changed to hard work. So these are different functions available in OS. So we also have some functions in os.path. For example, os.path has a function called, so first of all I want to create a variable p, and I am putting os.get cwd, the path in this. Let me see what is there in p. So p is Python practice EEA. So we have a function called os base name in os.path. For this I need to pass path. So this will return the base directory. So or if there is a file, it will return the file name. So it is os.path base name. We have another function called os.path directory name. Let me see what is returned if I pass this path. Enter. So it is returning the directory up to practice. This is directory and this is base. Okay. So we also have a function called join and split. So for example, if I am taking os.path.dir name p and save it in p1. So p1 is equal to os.path.dir name. Enter. What is there in p1? Let me see. So d Python practice is there in this. Now I am telling os.path.join. Let me save it in a variable j, and I am giving p comma. Let me give the name triply here. So this joins these two strings and returns as a path. Let me see what is there in j. You can see this. P is Python practice triple A, and I joined another directory triple A at the end. So the whole string is returned here. So if I say j is equal to os.path.join p1 comma triple A. You can see this. p1 is d Python practice. I am joining triple A to this d Python practice. Let me see what is the output. Let's check j now. D Python practice combined with triple A. Okay, it is returned by os.path.join. So we got another function. For example, j1 comma j2 is equal to os.path.split. So here I am passing this j. So it returns the path. It will split the path and returns as two variables. If I check j1, so it has the path d Python practice, and if I check j2, it has the base directory, that is triple A. So these are different functions that are available here. Let us list out the functions that we learned. The first one is os.get current working directory, that is one function. os.chdir change directory. Then os.rename. So this is changing the name. Then os.make directory. And os.remove directory. Okay, these are some functions we have seen. In os.path, we have seen base name. For that I have to need to pass the path. Second one is os.path.directory name. Again we need to pass the path. Okay. We also have os.path.join. So for this we need to pass two strings. It will join the two strings and return a path. And the last one is os.path.split. For this we will give the path. It will return the base name and directory name as the. It will split the path into base name and directory name and will return that. These are different functions we have seen up to now. So time module allows us to handle various operations regarding time. Epoch is the point where time begins. For Unix systems, January 1st, 12 am 1970 is treated as epoch. Let me import time module. We have different functions available in time module to work with time. The first function we are going to see is time. So this function returns the number of seconds elapsed since the epoch. So what is epoch actually? Epoch is 1st January 12 am 1970. So from that moment, how many seconds were elapsed? That is returned as a float. You can see this. These many seconds were elapsed from 1970 January 1st 12 am. Okay, that is about time. So we have a function called cTime. So this returns the current date and time. Let me see. So when I use the C time, it is telling that March 27th, 23, 29, 10, 2020. This is the current date and time. Okay. So we have another function called sleep. Sleep takes some integer, that is, this is nothing but number of seconds. And what happens is that sleep will stop the execution of the current program for the specified amount of time. So if I write sleep 5, the execution of the program will stop for 5 seconds. So this is another function. We got a function called gm time. Time.gm time. For this we need to pass number of seconds. For example, if I pass this number here, so it will return the time in this format with these many things, that is year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds. So weekday. So weekday is treated as 4. Today is actually Friday. Friday is 4 and Saturday is 5. Year day. So it is 87th day in the year. So these are different elements that are present in GM time. This is about time. In time module, we have seen the functions time, C time. So C time is returning current time. Sleep. This will stop the execution of the program for the given number of seconds. And GM time. These are different functions we have seen in time module. Okay. And the last module we want to discuss is date time. So when it comes to date time module can be used to work with dates as well as time. So date time module supplies classes to work with date and time. There are mainly 6 classes. So out of that, the important classes are date, time, date time and time delta. So these are some important classes in date time. So let us look at these 4 classes. So let me import this date time, and I want to work with date class. So for date class, I need to pass the arguments like year. For example, if I say 1991, then some month and some date. This is date time. So I can assign it in a variable. For example, some d is equal to date time dot date. I can create some date, 1981, comma 20. That is month is 2 and date is 15. So now if I want the year, d dot year will be the year, d dot month, I'll get the month, d dot day will give you the day. So to get the current date, so the function we use date time dot date dot today. Let me see. So you can say this 28/3/2020. For example, if I put it in a variable something like date time dot date dot today, it will save in the variable. To get the date, year, y dot year, y dot month, y dot day will give you the date. So this is how you will get current date. Okay. For example, I want to know the date after 100 days from now. So we can use the class time delta for this. Okay. So I am taking the td is equal to date time dot time delta. So here I am passing days is equal to 100. So to get the date after 100 days, what I am doing is td is equal to y is current date, y plus td, print y plus td. You can see this after 100 days it will be 6 July 2020. I want to see what was the date before 100 days? Print y minus td. You can see this before 100 days, it is 19/12/2019. So we can add some days or remove some days. We can work with dates using these things. For example, I want to find out the number of days between two dates. For example, assume that I am creating another date. Y1 is equal to date time dot date. So I am creating some date. August 15th I want to find out. So 2020 August 15th. This is the date. Let me see how many days are there between these two dates. So what I am doing is, to get the number of days, I am taking that td is equal to y1 minus y. So td dot days. Let me check this. It is 140 days from now to go to August 15th. So this is, we can find the number of days between two dates also. Okay. So if I want to find the number of seconds in this gap, td dot total seconds. This will give the number of seconds. So there are around 1209600 seconds. Okay. So this is one thing. We have also a class called time. For example, datetime dot time. So I can pass some hours, 4 hours, 15 minutes, 15 seconds, something like that. So press enter, it will create date time. So we can work with that also. We got another class called datetime dot date time. So this is another class we are having. Okay. So what is it we have discussed? We are telling that there is a class called date. In date we have a method called today, which returns today's date. And this, in the same date class, we have attributes called year, day, month. That is about date. We have a class called time delta. So when we subtract a date from another date, it returns time delta. That is about time delta. We got another class called time. So it takes hours, minutes, seconds and microseconds as the input, and it will create a time. And lastly we had another class called date time. Date time is combination of date and time. That is, in date we have year, month, day. In time we have hours, minutes, seconds, microseconds. So both of these are combined and put in the single class called date time. This is basically about dates and times. Thank you everyone.